Welcome back to the Explanation Pro. Today I'll recap an action, drama, thriller film called Sniper, Ghost Shooter. Spoilers incoming. On a deserted island in Istanbul, Turkey, an elite team of snipers is on a mission to save American hostages from terrorists. They carefully observe every movement of the terrorist, ensuring they get the perfect timing to attack. They watch as the hostages are harshly dragged to the sand, preparing for execution. After that, the terrorist starts recording the scene wherein they blame their killings as a direct result of America's crime against them. The team prepares to engage in Gunny's signal as the executioner approaches the first hostage. However, he hesitates as he sees him hand the boy his knife. His comrades pressure him to take the shot as he is caught in a dilemma. Suddenly, the boy drops the knife, and Suicide takes the chance to shoot him but misses it. The shot alarms the terrorists, causing them to kill the first hostage. Shortly after, the snipers skillfully take down the terrorists from a distance as they attempt to escape. Soon after, the air support arrives and terminates most of the terrorists. The mission ends as their missile finishes off their target. After completing the mission, the team celebrates with a drink the next day. However, angst kills the mood by bringing up Gunny's failure to take the shot, causing him to walk out. Cervantes follows him and tells him to ignore her. After that, Gunny notices an attractive woman and follows her a long way to the port. The woman finally talks to him, amused by his effort. They then start to flirt but get interrupted as his phone rings. The caller is Major Bidwell, who instructs him to meet ASAP. As the call ends, the woman suddenly disappears, which attracts him more to her. He then meets with Bidwell, who informs him that a bounty is on his head. Fortunately, Bidwell cleared it up. He then brings up the recent incident with the operation, in which Gunny admits that he messed up because he hesitated. He encourages him that despite the job being immoral, they are doing it for a good cause. After that, the colonel and the team secretly meet with Bidwell and Slater, the attractive woman Gunny met earlier. Slater briefs them on their mission, overwatch for Austrian oil tycoon Killiangren, who is scheduled to meet tribal elders to secure land rights. They are to take out enemy snipers, specifically Afghan militant Roshan Gazakov, who is looking to make a statement by killing Grin. After the briefing, they are immediately sent to Snab pumping station in Georgia to secure the site for Grin's transportation. At the command center, the colonel works alongside them to provide UAV support. Moments later, Grin travels in a heavily armed motorcade with Blackwater contractors. Hiding out of sight is the Afghan militants led by Gazakov, awaiting the right time to execute the attack. At the same time, the team is all stationed, watching every potentially irregular movement around the area. Just as Grin nears the area, Angst spots something shining in the bushes from a distance. Suddenly, Gazakov attacks, penetrating Grin's heavily armed vehicle and causing it to overturn. The contractors are alerted and engage in a firefight with the militants. Meanwhile, Gazakov skillfully takes out Rojas with a single shot. The team panics as they can't see the target. The colonel interferes by sending the drones to detect enemies hiding from plain sight. As the firefight intensifies, Gazakov hits one of the team again. Thus, the colonel orders the missiles as they find the enemy sniper. Seconds later, the missile instantly blows up the enemies at the ridge, ending the fight. The contractors immediately rescue Grin from the car wreck, and Gunny rushes over to Rojas. Gunny tries to save her, but it's too late. Moments later, Miller, the team captain, along with Slater and the Georgian colonel, Sarjai, goes to check the site of the burnt enemies. However, they cannot confirm yet whether they killed Gazakov in the encounter. At Snab, as the bodies of their comrades are being dispatched, Gunny believes it was an impossible shot since Rojas was the best at building hide. He speculates that someone from the Georgian army is feeding their coordinates to Gazakov. The tension rises as he offends his superiors, claiming that Sarjai is a traitor. Because of the incident, Gunny is sent to the Grand Caucasus Mountains to discipline him for insubordination. There, he meets Sajid, who guides him to the outpost. Upon arriving, he gets caught up in a fight as his supposed comrades roughly welcome him. He retaliates by easily overpowering them with his top-class skills. Luckily, Colonel Mashkov arrives before things get out of hand. Afterward, they take Gunny to the listening post to patrol the area. As they reach the edge of the post, they hide as they watch Chechen thieves dismantling the post to steal them. Gunny asks what they do to thieves, and Mashkov blatantly says they shoot them. Gunny is shocked since they are just thieves. However, Mashkov makes it clear that Chechen thieves are not ordinary thieves. Gunny suggests they arrest them instead, which they allow him to demonstrate. Gunny then takes over the situation as he catches one of the Chechen thieves in the act. He orders the armed woman to stop as her other comrades appear. Suddenly, the woman moves, which causes Mashkov and his men to shoot them. They engage in a gunfight and successfully kill the thieves. However, one of the Chechens survives, and they take him hostage. That night, Mashkov shares that he knows Gunny's father, who used to be his enemy, but somehow they managed not to kill each other. He also shares the story of when he once hesitated to kill a child, like what happened to Gunny. In his story, his squad was resting at a city block, and he set up in case anything happens. Suddenly, a harmless child appears, hiding something in his coat. His spotter Yuri told him that the child was suspicious, carrying a mortar shell. He hesitates as his humanity stops him from reacting violently to the child. However, things quickly turned for the worst as it turns out it was a bomb, and it killed his squad. He then advises him that every sniper should only hesitate once. The following day, Miller calls Gunny to check up on him. He then tells him that they confirmed that it was not Gazakov, but his brother-in-law, who they killed at the ridge. Moreover, he informs him that they'll be going to the pipeline and that Sarjai is cleared of suspicion. After that, they anticipate the revenge of the Chechens to salvage their hostage. They plan bombs on the path to the outpost to prepare for the enemy attack. Moments later, Sajiad spots the Chechens on the move in the mountains and alerts Mashkov. Inside the outpost, the hostage threatens Mashkov as he boasts about what his brother will do to him, knowing that he will avenge him well. However, Mashkov is unfazed and threatens him back. After preparing their weaponry, they station themselves at the outpost in the ridges as they hide from the enemies. Gunny camouflages in the snow, waiting for the right time to react. Soon after, the enemy strikes first by killing the man at the watchtower. Gunny retaliates and makes a sharp shot, instantly killing the enemy hiding. The enemies emerge from the trees, and the gunfight starts. The fight intensifies as the enemies spot Mashkov hiding. As the enemies near the post, Mashkov activates the bombs, delaying them. However, the enemies soon overpower them as they blow up parts of the post. Suddenly, an RPG exposes Gunny's location, and he falls from the ridge. Luckily, he survives the attack and prepares to retaliate. Soon after, the enemies overtake the post and rescue their brother. Sajiad unexpectedly betrays them and teams with the enemies at the last minute. The enemies then drag Mashkov outside to kill him. As they are about to behead him, Gunny interferes by taking them down one by one. This time he doesn't hesitate and takes Sajiad down with them. Upon successfully terminating the enemies, Mashkov spits at them and is relieved that it's over. After that, the colonel ends Gunny's probation and is sent back to the field. At the U.S. Georgian Fusion Operations Base, Gunny is immediately given a solo mission to meet Gazakov himself. He approaches his contact, Mother Shed, and is surprised to meet a blind officer. However, Mother Shed discourages him, saying meeting Gazakov is suicide. Gunny is unfazed by the threat and insists that he trade Gazakov's brother-in-law's remains to know his Idel on their coordinates. In the end, Gunny retrieves the remains and proceeds with his mission. The following day, Gunny is accompanied by Mother Shed and a drone to the mountains, where they are set to meet Gazakov. When they get close to the target area, Mother Shed reveals that Gazakov has been tracking them for the past hour. Upon reaching their meeting place, multiple armed men surround them. Mother Shed is their middleman and communicates the trade of remains. At the command center, the officer tells the colonel that facial recognition is impossible with the militants' faces due to their masks. They struggle to recognize if Gazakov is indeed present in the area. During the conversation, Gunny insists that Mother Shed asks who gave them the coordinates of their sniper team. The enemy replies that it's God's gift, which Gunny does not accept as an explanation. Gazakov then interferes, saying they do not lie and will win the war whatever it takes. Gunny then notices one of the militants using a tough book. The situation escalates as Gazakov loses his temper with Gunny, and in an instant, the colonel orders a missile attack in the area, causing the militants to retreat. Back at Gasnab, Gunny and Mother Shed report to Slater about the incident. Gunny tells them that the militants have a tough book with an uplink satellite that they might have used to mirror the team's drone network in real time, exposing their coordinates. However, Slater does not buy it, thinking they can't achieve such advanced knowledge of their system. The colonel then speaks with Gunny and Miller on the phone and reprimands them for the recent incident. The colonel warns Gunny to stick with the mission and let him handle the Adele. He then informs them of their next mission for Grin and not repeat the same mistake as the last one. At Kutaisi, the team is set at their stations to provide long-range support for the Georgian army. Their drone spots them and inevitably reveals their coordinates to Gazakov. Meanwhile, the militants are hiding near the area of the troops. Gazakov then prepares to attack and shoots a Georgian soldier. Angst gets shot before they can counterattack. Moments later, Gunny and Cervantes arrive just in time as Miller's coordinates been compromised. Gunny tells them to remove their vest with their GPS to avoid being traced by the militants. The team immediately follows Gunny's advice and heads on the ground to the house. Moments later, their superiors arrive to inspect the place, and Miller reveals that their GPS trackers were compromised. However, Slater still doubts it. After that, the colonel meets with the team to ask about the operation. Miller briefs him that it came from unsecured radio traffic revealing Gazakov's location in the village. Unfortunately, it was a trap, completely compromising their GPS and injuring their soldiers. Miller then tries to convince him that maybe Gunny's drone story is true. The next day, Killian Grin arrives at the pumping station to observe the operation. The colonel then briefs them on their mission to intercept and engage Gazakov at Kobaleti before he gets to the station. On the way to Kobaleti, Gunny tries to reason with Miller that Gazakov will take advantage of them away from the station, which is their target of attack. He also adds that Gazakov might have infiltrated their drone network to stream false information, leaving Grin and the station vulnerable to attack. With this, Gunny and his team turn back to the station. Meanwhile, the militants prepare to attack upon confirming that the sniper team has left the area. They immediately head to the station as Gazakov and his Adel team hide behind the bushes, ready to engage. He then orders his men to take Grin alive. Moments later, the militants bomb the station, and everyone is surprised by the unexpected attack. The remaining soldiers do the best they can to protect the grounds. However, they are outnumbered and overwhelmed by the series of attacks on their way. Slater finally admits that Gunny is right and is immediately ordered by the colonel to call for reinforcements. Slater calls the CFC command center to cancel all aircraft to stop the militants from gathering more data in their system. After that, the militants crash the stations, causing them to advance further to the site. Fortunately, the sniper team arrives on time to provide backup and easily takes down every target. Gunny then orders Cervantes, his spotter, to find Gazakov, sensing is nearby. They then spot Gazakov's Adelman and spotter, instantly killing them. Gazakov rushes to relocate himself from the scene. Luckily, Cervantes spots him on the move, but Gazakov retaliates by shooting him. Despite the concerning situation of his friend, Gunny remains resolved to hunt down Gazakov and takes one clear shot as he spots something shining from the bushes. In an instant, Gazakov is shot, fatally injuring him in the head. Overpowered by reinforcements, the militants retreat, ending the gunfight. After that, Cervantes is rushed for treatment, and everything is at peace again. Miller commends Gunny for doing an incredible job in the operation. The movie ends with the team finally coming together for a drink in Istanbul by the river. Shortly after, the colonel arrives to commend them for their hard work and informs them that he will be transferred to direct fields operation. He then tells Gunny that he brought someone to see him. Gunny approaches Slater, and they go for a drink. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.